Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of February 22nd through the 28th. And during that time, we have the waxing crescent energy that we bring in from last week. And that's a time of heightened senses, a good time to buckle down and work on those things that we just started on the new moon. The first quarter moon comes in on the 24th or the 25th, depending on where you are. And that could be a time, it's almost like a mini full moon, like a little shot of that impulsive, impatient energy, where your mind might be a little active. It's hard to settle down and get things done. So keep that in mind. We then move back into the waxing gibbous energy, and that is definitely a lot calmer, and it allows us to show that we can be flexible and make adjustments in those projects that we've just started during the new moon. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter. So as always, Capricorn, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: communication is key. Okay, let's see what the Capricorns need to communicate this week. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you notice the world around you when it comes to synchronicity. So this could be, let's say there's an animal that you see that's not like your pets. We see those every day, of course, if you have pets, but animals that you might see one as you're traveling in your car. Something might dart in front of you. It might be that you're in a park and an animal pops out, a bird or something that you just don't see every single day. Those are the ones that I'm talking about. And once you start seeing them, if you're a nature watcher, they are there. But what I would do with that information is to recognize the attributes of that animal, or look them up if I'm not sure what those might be, and see if I can't use those attributes in an issue that's going on in my life at the current time. So that is one way that I use that animal synchronicity. You might see repeating numbers or number patterns, and in that case, look up the angel number for that number, see what that means. If you're familiar with numerology at all, it's a very interesting thing. But also, you might overhear a conversation, you might hear a song that really is kind of an answer to a question that you're having, or guide you in a particular way. So it is just my fun weekly reminder for you to pay attention to those things this week, every week, really. But those are your little breadcrumbs that the universe is offering you on your unique path. And they're there as a language if you notice them. So, all right, with that being said, I will stop babbling about that. I swear. Let's get into this reading. Capricorn, February 22nd through the 28th. Communication is key. And your present energy right now is the Two of Swords. So I've seen this in a couple of readings for this series for this week. The Two of Swords is about not making a decision until you really, really think something through. So there might be something that's on your mind. It's kind of a big decision, and you're, kind of weighing pros and cons. And so just give yourself, that space, that allowance to do that. There's, I mean, unless there's some time constraint, excuse me, you're allowed to take your time. So especially if it's a big decision. Your current situation right now is the Three of Swords, so you might be making some decision that is going to be heartbreaking, or you're afraid it might be heartbreaking, or it absolutely is due to some sort of heartbreak. So remember that both of these are air energy. Air energy is how that involves our communication and also our intellect. So this is thinking through a problem and not really maybe communicating it. This is also, this is one that kind of cuts through your heart, but I always use the word mind break too, just something that like, it's just kind of blows your mind, so it could be something like that. But we'll continue as we go on to see, what it is. Your overall message, of course, was that you need to be communicating. Communicating is key in this situation. At the root of this situation is the Hanged Man. So you've seen something here from a new perspective, and again, it's leading to these things. It's leading to, there's a decision to be made, and there's some heartbreak involved. So what that is for some of you, we'll see. Tarot is a template. Remember, this can template over different, for some of you, this might be a romantic issue. For some, it might be a work issue. For some, it could be a family issue. We'll see as these cards continue to come out here. What is in your recent past, Capricorn? is the Six of Pentacles. So, have you, has there been some giving and receiving in your recent past here? Is there some kind of give and take I'm getting? Usually I would ask people what this card means, but I feel like in your situation, I'm almost feeling like back and forth, that there's been some back and forth. And again, it may involve more than one person here, some back and forth that's been going on, giving, taking, giving, taking. And is that what this is about? Could be. When you're communicating, of course, that's what we're doing, is a lot of back and forth. So I do feel like that's not new to this situation, whatever it is there. And this could have been going on for some period of time. This doesn't have to be just this week, right? What's on your mind this week is the Queen of Swords, which I will say, if you're communicating, this is our logical but very cutting. The Queen of Swords does not mince words. And it's on your mind, I think, to say what's on your mind. That might be what you're mulling over here. You might be deciding exactly what you do need to say. But there's been some new perspective. There's been some change. Some new information has come in that is making you look at things in a little bit different way, which is what the Hangman represents there. What is just ahead of you this week? Okay, Five of Pentacles, which is feeling a little bit like an outsider. And I'm starting to see, there's more people. Sometimes I would say this was maybe a romantic thing. I haven't seen a cup yet come out in your reading. Lots of swords and pentacles at this point too. Um, for some of you, this could be, some kind of fighting over money, over material type things. You'll get that. If that's your situation right now, then of course it is heartbreaking. Who wants to fight over that stuff? So, I mean, this could be some family situation where there's like an inheritance involved or something like that. But I am seeing other people now surround you. Um, I mean, literally surrounding, where you are. And you do have some decisions to make, and they're going to be hard, and some of them might be heartbreaking. For some of you, that might be the actual situation that's going on. Drop me a comment, of course, if that's where you are right now. In your advice position, yeah, wounded warrior. So this is the Nine of Wands, and this is just kind of looking back over, like, like, are we here? Because I can't believe, look at everything we've just been through. And I can relate to that. I've been there. I understand this entire situation if that's where you're going through, but this is where you're kind of looking back and evaluating, and you are kind of letting those things decide what this decision might be for you, because you're doing an evaluation, and you know how you got here, because you're taking that time to look back over this entire situation and say, wow, is this where we are? Is this really where we've come to? So and the advice is to go ahead and do that evaluation. You may not even make this decision this week. We'll see as these cards continue, but the advice is to evaluate where you are based on where you've been and what the past has been. So go ahead and take the time to do that this week. What is beyond your control this week is the Wheel of Fortune. That's evolvement. That's things that are, we don't know what life will be tomorrow. And is this decision going to change your life? Probably. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a pretty big, I don't have a lot of major arcana coming out here. It's a big decision, but I don't think it's so life changing that it's um huge. And you might have kind of seen this coming. You're like taking a look back now, and you might be like, oh, okay, this is completely making sense because of all the things that happened in the past to get you there. But it's beyond your control, that tomorrow's a new day, that things are going to evolve and change, and things are not going to be the same, right? That's the wheel in the sky keeps turning. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow, and that's because one decision or one conversation or one something can just change your life on a dime. So that's beyond your control this week. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid, is the Queen of Wands. So is it your secret desire to really have the understanding of what is driving you passionately, what are your motivators, and also being able to look around to see what the motivators are of the people around you, of all of your, for the queen, I would say her constituency, but for you, it's just the people in your life. Are you able to see, as you're looking back, oh, I see what's motivating this. This person's motivated by money. This one's motivated by love. This one's motivated by whatever, all the things that can motivate people. So is that your secret desire to be that person, to really understand and learn about yourself, and also in turn learn about the people around you? Or are you just trying to avoid that at this point? I mean, I feel like you are learning. You're looking back here, with this set of wands here, with these, not with this nine, that you are really kind of evaluating that situation. So I feel like this is more about being your secret desire than you trying to avoid that, from this card alone here. What is in your outcome position here, Capricorn? This thing's happening very quickly with this Knight of Swords. So does this decision come quickly? Maybe. Does information come in quickly to make that decision for you? It might just be easier than you think. It's on your mind to not mince words. You have things that you do want to say to people, persons or people involved in this situation. There are things that you want to get off your chest and say. Like I said, the Queen of Swords, she's very logical. She doesn't mince words. If you need to do that, it's on your mind to do it. And here comes this Knight of Swords, which is an action card. So I think you may let loose and say the things that you want to say. Again, there's probably some indecision there about when, where, what's the appropriate time. So whatever that is for, I think you'll know. I think you'll know the moment. Let's see what's hidden from you this week. Is the Eight of Cups. So what's hidden for you? You're not really thinking about the future, and you're not, this is kind of a card of exploration and kind of having people having your back. I don't feel like anybody has your back this week. I mean, and I'm not saying that nobody does. I'm saying maybe in this situation, these whatever people you're dealing with, and again, this could be a family situation or a work situation. There are people involved that do not have your back, um, and that's interesting too. So I don't know what's going on with this. Let's get a final word here. I mean, I feel like it's pretty clear as day. Again, tarot's a template, so this could be so many different situations. But I think by the end of it, you are going to speak up. I just feel like, watch out. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I know any Capricorns right now. I don't think I do. But if I was crossing them this week, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of whatever's coming, because I think you're going to let somebody have it. So, okay, let's see. Final message here for Capricorn. It's very interesting. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, once again, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what's going on with you guys. This is pretty intense here. Final message for you this week from the Soul Oracle deck says, take a step back. I mean, I think you're doing that here. I think you really are taking time to evaluate the situation. And I'll tell you how intense this reading is. I've never seen that card come out of this deck ever. That's the first time I've done a lot of readings here. So take a step back. Take a step back. That's probably why you're evaluating what it is that you need to say, but you're kind of done, I feel like. And I think you will say some things. Let's see what you need to do about self-care this week, Capricorn. Self-care for Capricorn for this very, very intense week that you're having. Whew. Priorities is the card that you get. The quality of your life is determined by how you spend your time. Make sure your schedule reflects the life you want. So it's telling you to make sure that you know your priorities, and that you kind of stick to the things that are important to you. I don't think that's a problem for you. I mean, Capricorns tend to be very, very goal oriented. You guys know what you want. I think you know your priorities, but maybe that's just a reminder that, in all of this, whatever's going on, whatever this drama is, that you do have priorities, and you probably need to make sure you're at least focusing on that, or making sure things are getting taken care of. So Capricorn, this is a pretty intense reading. Like I said, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of whoever these words are coming towards at the end of the week with you. I think you're going to say your piece, and have it out and say the things that you want to say, because you have to. I don't, but and the overall of your reading was communication is key, and I think that's not going to be an issue for you. I think you're going to say what you mean, and you're not going to mince words. And again, heaven help the person that's on the other end, because I don't think you're happy about whatever this situation is. So Capricorn, really good luck with all of this. I'm going to grab a drink. Also, anytime I have a quick little choke up like that, excuse me, during a reading, it just makes me want to reiterate, you do need to speak up. Like, my throat is literally like closing up, like saying you need to speak. You need to not let your throat close up. So get all your ducks in a row, which I think you're going to do. So anyway, good luck with all of this. If you are comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know if any of this resonated with you. Let me know what you're going through. If you're comfortable, or if you have questions about this reading, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe will help you find me next week, where we can come back and see where this story goes, because I'm very curious myself. So good luck with all of this again, Capricorn, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.